everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's kind of that time for me to go to the grocery store. However, what I usually do beforehand, I go through my fridge and my freezer just to kind of see what should get used maybe, or things that I should probably cook before adding anything else to the refrigerator. I do this just for space purposes. I really dislike throwing food away, so if I feel like I should use it, I will cook it. So I noticed that I had some ground meat in my freezer, and honestly, I don't like ground meat to be kept in the freezer. Normally when I buy that, I tend to use it the same day or within a day or two. However, the last time that I needed ground meat, I didn't need the whole package, so the last of the portion, I put it in the freezer to save it for another use. So I figured I'm gonna do some kind of meatballs. However, because I don't really dig frozen ground beef, I'm going to heavily season it because I do feel that it needs a little more help than if you have fresh ground meat. And I will be roasting them in the oven along with some potato. So there's the meat. I'm going to be using a mix of spices. So I have ground cumin, coriander, black pepper, a good pinch of salt, and some oregano. I also have a clove of garlic, a jalapeno, and a piece of onion that, again, was in the fridge. I had to use it up. And I'm just going to bulk it up a little bit with some breadcrumb. This I also had in the freezer. And I have some olive oil as well as some white wine that I will be incorporating. Along with this, I'm going to be roasting some potato, and then I'll just steam some broccolini that I had, also needs to get used. So to my bowl, I've added all the spices along with the chopped onion, breadcrumb, and right now I'm just going to be finely dicing my jalapeno. Now, this is kind of a nod to my mom's family. They are Slavic, and they do make something that's kind of like a sausage, and there's another version that's like a patty, and it's got jalapeno, it's got onion, it's got wine. So if you're like, why are you using wine in this? Well, this is why. This is not the exact recipe used, so this is not like the traditional way of doing it, but things that I have on hand and things that I want to do rather quickly. So I'm just going to finish chopping this up and then tossing it all together. And for this, I am going to peel the skins of the potato, but depending on what you may be using, you may not have to. And I'm going to chop these up. Okay, now for my potatoes, I just went ahead and sliced them, tossed them with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and I laid them flat on a sheet tray that I have prepared with foil because, as you know, if I can avoid washing something that's oily, I will. And then I'm going to be mixing my meat. So before I do that, I do want to add a little olive oil. I would say maybe a teaspoon or two, just so that it doesn't dry out. And for the wine, I would say about a tablespoon. Again, this is going to be for flavor. And then with clean hands, go ahead and mix this all up. And I did not put an egg in here. I'm not doing that this time. So I'm basically going to mix this all up so that the onion and the pepper gets combined. So I did rip a small piece of meat and flattened it out in a pan, and that was just to check for seasoning. What I am going to do, the seasoning was fine, by the way. What I am going to do, I'm going to start forming them. So I'm going to form them in slightly smaller than a golf ball shape, actually maybe about golf ball shaped. And I'm going to arrange it on the pan. and just drizzle it with a touch more olive oil and then put it in the oven. The oven I've preheated to 325, and I'm going to let them cook at 325 for about 10 to 12 minutes, and then I'm going to raise the heat to 375. So here I have my tray ready to go in. I do just want to drizzle a little bit of olive oil and into the oven. So I gave this a good 40 minutes in the oven. I started out at 325 degrees, left them in for 12 minutes. Then I raised the heat to 375 for another, again, 10 to 12 minutes. Then I raised it up to 400 to finish cooking. And here we are. So as I mentioned, I did steam up some broccolini that I had. If you don't have that, go ahead and use broccoli, or if you wanted to use like asparagus, even zucchini or bok choy, whatever kind of a green vegetable I would suggest with this, or a salad on the side. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this dinner. I will have a detailed recipe described down below, so please be sure to check that out. If you need to, go ahead and double or triple the recipe based on your needs. This was pretty reminiscent to something called cevapcici or pleskavica, which is another similar type of dish in a Yugoslavian culture, but it turned out pretty good. Like for a weeknight, this was pretty easy and simple to put together. So I hope you do have a chance to try it out. If you do, let me know. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel as well, and I will see you next time. Bye.